What is up, my friends? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Dead by Daylight video. This one I was actually going to make last week or so, but I was like, you know what? The anniversary stream is coming up, so let's hold off. Let's pump the brakes. Let's see what they announce, and kind of that way it can kind of shape this video a little bit more. So I'm gonna basically pick 5 chapters that I wish for, and up here at the top I'll make a couple honorable mentions. The Thing, if they can figure out a way to make a killer, I don't necessarily, I think that needs to be a killer and a survivor. We need MacReady. That would be cool, but I don't know how they would really mix the Thing's the ability to mimic other people and the monster. That'd be kind of challenging, so that's why I'm like, we'll just keep this in an honorable mention. And then another one would be Predator. I don't know, like they already have Wraith who can cloak, and they have Skull Merchant with the claws on the hand, so it's like I feel like that would just be a mix and match of those two types of killers. So again, I'd like to see the Predator, but I don't know what they would do to make him all that much different, so we'll just leave that up here at the top. So yeah, I think that's all I have to get off my chest up front, and let's jump into it. So number 5 on this list, in the live stream, they basically teased The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. And I'm putting that here only because it's almost all but confirmed. And we believe it's going to be the July, I think it's the July chapter with 2 survivors. No killer, just 2 survivors. And it's going to be Rick and Michonne. Now, I'm going to put skins here, up over here, the ones that I'd like to see from that show. And I think or from The Walking Dead in general, I think that they're going to give Rick his, I don't know what his base skin's going to be, but it might be this one, which is the promotional image art for that, The Ones Who Live. This is the outfit he wears. But I think if you're going to have other skins besides this one, you have to go with his all-out war look from like season 8 or 9, something like that. But this is like more of a standard look for Rick. The blue top, just and the jeans. Like I think this is like more of a standard Rick. I think you got to go with this look. And then after that, you have to go back to season 1, and you can even name this outfit Officer Friendly. Perfect. You have classic Alan Wake. I feel like you also need classic Rick Grimes. This is a great skin, and I definitely think it would sell well. After that is this one. This would be my main skin. Rick in the jacket and the brown jacket with the puffy collar. This is like, for me, this is Rick's definitive look. Like I said, to me, you could even release this skin with the big bushy beard like this. Like this is also he wore this. I'm pretty sure he wore the jacket with this beard at one point, so you could release it together and then head swap to different skins if you don't want the big beard. But I think you need to go with this look with the coat. And then you could go with his final season, well, not his final appearance, but his final like full season of the show when he had the beard, he had the shorter hair. They kind of tried to age him up. You can go with this look as well. It's another look you can go with. And then this one in this in the brown jacket with the orange stripe. So I know there's other outfits for Rick that you could choose, but let's just keep it kind of concise. And these are all skins I think would suit Rick perfectly fine. And if I had to pick legendary skins, I'll go with 2. I'll say you got to go with Daryl. I say you pick like this look. I don't even know what season this is. This might be like season 5 or something like this, but I think this is the most general standard look for Daryl. You know, the sleeveless shirt with the vest with the wings on the back. I think this is a good look. Daryl is a good pick for legendary, as he kind of looks almost the same for the majority of the show. So I think you got to go with Daryl for one, and then for another one you go with Negan. Like I love Negan. Like that would be a great legendary skin, and I would main that a lot as well. But yeah, the jacket with the red scarf, that's just classic. And then for Michonne as the other survivor, I think if they're gonna go with her The Ones Who Live outfit, they're gonna go with this. But if you're going to give her some other skins and cosmetics, Michonne is kind of hard because it seems like she wears a lot of the same look. The jeans with her top just changes different colors. I think you can go with this one from the later seasons where she has half the side of her hair buzzed down. Here's one of her in a yellow top, and I know there's other colors. She wears a red top as well somewhere in there. But you also need classic Michonne, like her season 3 appearance with the governor and all that. This is a great look. You can even give her the hood if you wanted to. Then it would kind of be a linked cosmetic and you won't be able to swap, I think. So if you want to be going the safer route, take the hood off and just go with this look for her. And then kind of like a bonus one, you could give her Alexandria cop look, but then Rick also rocks the same type of uniform. So you could just give them both this outfit, and that'd be a kind of a cool pair, you know? I think that'd be pretty cool. And then if you were to give her 2 legendary skins, like with Rick, I think you got to go with Carol. And Carol, see, that's the thing. Carol kind of changes outfits a lot too, but I guess if we just go with a standard look, I'd probably go with something like this. But I think Carol deserves a spot, and then again, Maggie I think deserves a spot, but she has so many different looks and different outfits that she changes. She's not really known to just one outfit. But I guess if they were gonna go with a look, maybe they'd go with her more recent appearance in Dead City. So maybe this look, I don't know, but I think those would be the two legendaries you'd go with for Michonne. And I think that's gonna wrap up my number 5 spot. So let's jump into number 4. So number 4 is not necessarily the number 4th spot on the list that I would go with. Like, this would probably be number 2 for me. My number 1 is my number 1. But this one I'm only putting here at number 4 due to the fact that it's already been talked about time and time again. And it's Friday the 13th. There's a lot of licensing issues going on with it, and who owns what. Someone owns this, the other guy owns this part. So it's hard to figure out how to get it to all work. And I'm sure they'll figure it out, but I would like for them to go with the earlier Paramount movies, so they would have like 1 through 8, and there's a lot more skin options there for Jason. I'll just throw this image up of like all the Jasons. So I'm not going to put every skin, but basically every movie he wears something different, and that would be cool if you could get some amount of skins in there for Jason. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but yeah, Jason would be great, and I think he would have to come with a survivor. I mean, I guess he doesn't have to, but I would like to see Tommy Jarvis. And Tommy has not that many skins that I can really think of. He really wears just one look in each movie. But you go with, I think the standard survivor with Tommy would be his part 6 appearance, and then you could give him a skin of his part 5 appearance, which is a different actor, so he'd look different, but it's still Tommy. So at least you have 2 different skin options there, and I think that's really all that would wrap up Friday the 13th. Pretty easy, pretty concise. Anyway, let's move on to my number 3. So my number 3 spot, I actually have a guest here, which let me see if I can get her over here. There we go. We got a little guest appearance here of Annabelle. Now, I love the Conjuring movies, and I don't think that Annabelle herself should be the killer. I'm not saying that. I don't think she never even physically moves outside of a head turn or her eyes move. She doesn't physically attack people, you know what I mean? She's more of just like a demon possesses the doll, but the demon itself is doing the scaring, really. So Annabelle, no, not the killer. I think she should be involved in the chapter somehow, like maybe with a banner or a badge or a charm or something like that. But I think this would be the first killer chapter on this list that just comes with the killer and no survivors. And let me explain that. So I think you go with the nun as the killer and no survivors, due to the fact that I do not think that they would be able to get the licensing rights to Ed and Lorraine Warren. I understand that you could get the characters from the movie, but they are also real people in real life. So I feel like that would be a tough get for them. So I would not be surprised if this would just be a killer only chapter, and I'd be fine with that. I 100% would be fine. But I think as the killer, like I said, you have to go the nun. I'll throw her over here so she's not blocking Annabelle. You go with the nun. The only problem is the nun doesn't have very many cosmetic options. She has one standard look, and I guess you'd get a bloody variant. Maybe if they could work with the licensors, they could do a blighted nun. That would be cool. But that's the only downside I see with the nun. She'd be another like Pinhead and Freddy with not many skin options. Hopefully not like Pinhead where he's gone from the game, but you know what I mean. So this is my number 3 spot, and yeah, I think that about wraps it up, right? I'm gonna let her go back to her chair, and we'll get on to my number 2. And my number 2 spot is going to be Terrifier. Now, he is a more recent addition to the horror library, but he's awesome. Art is awesome, but he's the character. Terrifier, the movies, I love them. The first movie is probably people's least favorite because it doesn't really have any kind of storyline going to it, but you gotta admit, with part 2 and part 3, with the story they do have, you can't really blame a story anymore. It's there. But Art the Clown is just, he has smashed his way into the pop culture of horror. Like he's like trying to be like Freddy, Jason, and Michael, and just like smashing above all the others just to get up there with them. And I don't think he's quite there yet, but he definitely will be there. If he's not almost there now, he's gonna be there soon. But I think a Terrifier chapter is well deserved in the world of Dead by Daylight. So you'd obviously have, this would be a killer and survivor chapter, and I think as the killer, Art, obviously, so he'd have his basic outfit. And then for skins, here's the problem. So Art is always bloody in the movies, right? Well, the bloody cosmetic is already going to be in the base game for free when you prestige him, right? So it's like that right there is an awesome. That is probably one of the best prestige skins, honestly, because he's always covered in blood. I mean, I guess you can go Ash versus Evil Dead. Ash, his bloody skin. Ash is always covered in blood, so that's perfect for him. But Art, like literally, his prestige skin, bloody skin, would be awesome. So that would already be in the game for free. So skin wise, he's kind of hard because he wears a lot of the same. You could go with maybe just a random headpiece where like his iconic flower glasses. People love that look. So you could just pop the head, swap the headpiece around with the glasses. That would be a cool skin. And then obviously from the third movie, his Christmas outfit. Other than that, he doesn't really change skins. If they could really dig deep into like the old version of Art, like the classic mine look from right here, this is like his first appearance look. I don't know if they'd be able to do that. I don't know with the licensing rights with that. I know Damien Leone, he controls pretty much all of that, so maybe it could be possible, but for the most part, Art doesn't have many skins. Maybe a blighted Art would be cool if they could do that. But anyway, jumping to the Survivor, I think you have to go with Sienna. And I think this would be her look. This would be the perfect base skin look. And I know people are going to say, why would this one be your base and not the Angel costume? Because I think from a business standpoint, the Angel costume makes more sense to monetize that. People are going to buy that. People are going to flock to that, put that up in the store. Boom, that's going to sell out like hotcakes. Or they could go the way that they did with some of the other cosmetics where they could put it in the Rift and then give it a deep Rift variant. That'd be kind of cool. But I do think that this would not be a base skin. This would be either a paid or a Rift skin. And then I think you could also give her from the second movie her Clown Cafe skin. I know that was a dream sequence, but still, it's still an outfit that was seen in the movie. This would be pretty cool. This honestly would be kind of cool to see, really cool to see in game. And then if you go to the third movie, a lot of her outfits are kind of basic. But I would go with, if you're gonna add a skin, I would go with her final act skin where she has the crown, the thorny crown, which she has the, she's bleeding, got the blood all over her. I think that would be a good look for a skin as well. And then if I'm going to go legendary wise, I would go with her brother Jonathan. And I know he was younger in the second movie, but in the third movie, he's older. Is he in college at that point, or is he in high school? I don't even know. I have to rewatch that movie again, but he's definitely older. So you could give him the skin from the fourth movie. And then another legendary skin I'd go with Tara from the first movie. She was badass and unfortunately didn't make it all the way through the movie, spoiler, but I think this would be an awesome alternative legendary skin. So I think that about covers my part 2. Terrifier, awesome, would love to see in Dead by Daylight. Now, let's get to the one I really want to see in Dead by Daylight. Here it is, the number one that I want in Dead by Daylight. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark herself, Queen of Halloween. You have to get Elvira in Dead by Daylight. If you were calling Dead by Daylight the Horror Hall of Fame, she is the embodiment, in my opinion, of everything horror for the female. She's the female embodiment of horror. She is the Queen of Halloween. She has put her mark, her stamp in horror, and to not have her in the game, I think, would be honestly a sin, but she has a lot of she has a lot of cosmetic options as well. So you'd have her base skin, which would be that's what she'd come with, and then you go with her red dress, which she has done promotional photos in, and she's performed on stage and performed in showings with this outfit. So this is one she's worn a lot. And then if you're going to go based on her movies, you have to go with the Rambo skin. That would be pretty badass. That is a badass skin. Obviously, she wouldn't have the rocket launcher, but the skin itself, that I feel like that needs to make an appearance if you add Elvira. And then you could have her Vegas outfit from the end of the movie. This picture's not from the movie. This is from one of her stage performances, but the outfit's pretty much the same. I think you go with this one as well if you're going for movie skins. And then for her second movie, you could go with this one with her flowing cape. I don't know if it's different enough to make it a skin, but you could if you wanted to. But I think if you're going to go with the skin from her second movie, you have to go with her dance her music hall, the music hall skin, where she has the applause underwear. That'd be just kind of funny because when the killer's carrying Elvira, you would see her butt with the applause on the back of it. I think that would be pretty cool, and it's different enough because it's short and it's got the colored stockings, so that would also be a very cool skin. And now if we're gonna go for a Christmas sweater, which survivors typically get, she doesn't even need a Christmas sweater. She has a full-on Christmas outfit. Perfect. There you go. Like literally perfect for Christmas. That's all you need for her. And then if you're gonna go with these other few skins are kind of more niche and not really mainstream, but like you see this dress back here. This is actually her dress that I own. Like she's worn this on stage, performed in it, and I've seen her perform in it, and it's really freaking cool that I own it. But I would want this skin just in the game because like, you know, I own the dress. It'd be cool to play as Elvira in the dress that I own. And if you wanted to, you could even throw the version of it with the sash and the tiara, and you can name this outfit Prom Queen. Perfect. There you go. And it's different enough with the sash. So I think that would be an awesome skin, and I would have to honestly main that skin due to me actually owning it. And then if you wanted to for release for like the anniversary event for during June, during Pride Month, there's an action figure here of her wearing the rainbow dress. I think that would be a perfect skin. It would flow in perfectly well with Dead by Daylight. And then there's also this purple dress, which I couldn't find a very clear image. If I find a clear image, I will put it up here. But she wore this at one of her Not Scary Farms show. It's different enough. It's all purple and it's got some gray in there. And if you want to mix up skins, there you go, another color. And in this one, I could not find, I don't think she actually ever really wore this outfit. This was just on a Funko Pop as far as I could see, but this would be a perfect Halloween skin. Like, what more can you ask for? Orange with the bats, and the skin would like stick out like a sore thumb in Dead by Daylight, but that just, you know, I love it when the skins stick out like that. So if you're going to pick one that's not necessarily a real dress that she's actually worn, this one would be pretty cool. As I said, for a Halloween event, there you go. Perfect. So anyway, that's going to wrap this video up. These are 5 licenses that I would love to have in Dead by Daylight, and I honestly can't think of any others that I'd want above these. There are other licenses that would be cool, but these are the ones I can think of that personally I want in Dead. I need these in Dead by Daylight pretty much. So yeah, I think instead of rambling on any further, I'm just going to plug my Twitch real quick. At least 5 days a week, I'm streaming Dead by Daylight, so you can catch me over at JATaylor30 on Twitch. And I'll also put my Instagram in the description as well. It's the same handle. So if you guys would like to follow me there, watch me stream, follow my socials, there they are for you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to me ramble on, and I will catch you in the next one. Cheers.